Photography is all about balance. Your photos need to have a healthy mix between exposure, framing, and editing. If you have too much of one and too little of another, the whole photo will look off. But even if you manage to balance these three perfectly, the photo still needs a focus point. And no, I don't mean a camera focus. I mean that one thing which draws the viewer's attention to the photo and makes them actually want to look at it. In my photography, I use a selection of different techniques to accomplish just that. But in this video, I'm gonna focus on 3 of them. The first technique I'm going to mention is framing. Then I'm going to take a moment to talk about leading lines. And lastly, I want to show some ways to use editing to make your photos more appealing to look at. Let's get into it and start talking about framing. Framing is a popular photography technique that is all about putting subjects inside boxes while simultaneously thinking outside the box. At first glance, this sounds really complicated, but when you get the hang out of it, it's easier than it looks. Let me pull up an example of framing used in practice. During the day this photo was taken, I was out walking around and about, which I always do when shooting street. Then from nowhere, I spotted these 2 parking attendants walking across the park. It was something special about them that deserved a photo, so I started looking around and thinking of ways to make my photo more interesting. Then I saw this tree with a quite unusual shape. It perfectly could frame my 2 subjects. But why did I use the tree to frame my subject? It's all about creating that very important focus point. Without a clear direction in your picture, the viewer wouldn't know where to look. And how can you tell a message with a photograph if you can't even recognize which part of the photo is supposed to convey that message? The best part about framing in photography is that anyone can use it. It doesn't matter if you have a cheap phone camera or an expensive system camera. What actually matters is having creative viewing angles. Instead of taking a picture of your subject straight on, try to look around in the nearby surroundings and use what's available to you. It can be anything, like some rocks or a parked car. Only your imagination sets the limit. A big part in every visual art form is shapes and lines. They shape how artists have made and perceived art for centuries. We as photographers aren't necessarily that dependent on shapes like artists, but we are dependent on lines. Horizontal lines, vertical lines, grid lines, so many lines. There is such a vast amount of lines that even a photography technique has the word lines in it. I'm talking about leading lines. The point of using lines in your photography is to create a structure the viewer's eyes can follow. Taking this photo as an example, we see 2 clearly viewable lines going from the right corners across the left middle part. Without thinking about it, your eyes follow the lines towards or outwards the meeting point. This makes leading lines a perfect technique for making the viewer's eyes traveling across your picture or putting the subject where the lines meet. As I said before, I want to say many more times, only your imagination sets the limit. Another way of putting the viewer's focus on your picture is editing. But this part is tricky, since good or bad editing can make or break a photo. To give out a helping hand with your editing, I want to showcase a couple of methods I have used when editing my photos. The first method is selective coloring. To accomplish this look, you simply select one or multiple colors in the photo, focus on them. If done correctly, you could create something like this. In these photos, I have mainly focused on the blue color and the skin color of my subject. This creates a really cool effect, which lifts up the whole photo to a completely different level. The second method I wanted to showcase is viewable in the right side picture. Here you can see that I have increased the exposure in the top left corner and decreased it in the right bottom corner, which help the viewer focus on the right thing in the photo. If you never see me again, just remember, only your imagination sets the limit.